Hey guys, Red Pin Mining here. Hope you're doing well, having a really great day this video. Okay, I have been listening to all of you who commented on my video a couple days ago last week called, okay, it's time to sell. And in this video, a lot of you guys basically said to sell. And so I've been listening and I have been selling a bunch of GPUs. Not my 30 series cards yet. I may have a plan for these, but I'm thinking about keeping these for now. But I have been majority selling my 170HXs. Okay, not all of them yet, but some of them. A lot of you have commented and said basically, yes, you know, it's time to sell. Aussie Bogan Tech says yes, and then buy back when it finishes crashing. I don't think the whole AI thing is going to crash anytime soon. I know a lot of people think it's like a bubble, but I feel like it isn't, right? There's still a lot of people who are actually, you know, transitioning their business, utilizing AI and stuff now. So some people are buying hardware, doing it in-house, you know, instead of, you know, buying or doing the subscription method. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Halo says, yes, sell now. Zapirate says, sell it all today. Joker Ron C says, I do think when school starts up again, things will change. And yeah, I think, you know, it is summertime right now, which hopefully you guys have been enjoying your summer. And basically, I think demand, what he says here, the demand maybe will start popping up. You know, demand on a couple of platforms should start going up. And I agree. I think that is definitely a thing. Jay's Tech Vault says, gently used, never mind on, light gaming only. So this is for me when I advertise my selling of my cards, and I replied with, I know what I got. Have you guys seen that meme? That's great. Anyway, yeah, so some people say, yeah, 3090 costs as much as a 5080 on eBay. Yeah, which is, I want to expand on that. We're going to go look on eBay prices in this video. But majority of you have just said to sell, right? Everyone says yes to sell. I rarely got any comments from you guys saying not to sell. There were some of you saying that, you know, because of, I'm trying to find I don't think I can find it, but basically the 170HX is quite amazing on inference, utilizing for large language modeling. Even with the Gen 1 X4, you know, cap on it, unless people did the soldering mod on it, which I'm going to show you guys later. I did get one and it does about almost four times more bandwidth speed at PCIe X16 lane. So I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, majority of you said to sell. And so I'm going to talk about, you know, how many 170HXs I've sold thus far, how much money we've made thus far, and this is a journey that I'm just gonna continue on showing you guys, because this is basically my Bitcoin block. This is my, you know, it's quite crazy what has transpired over the past, I don't know, month here, in which I hoarded a bunch of 170HXs and now they're worth, you know, 6 figures, which is absolutely insane. So we'll talk about more of this after today's video sponsor. If you've been following the channel, you know I've been getting more and more interested in AI GPU compute, running LLMs and actually owning the hardware instead of relying completely on the cloud. And that's exactly where AIpowered.com comes in. AI-Powered is focused on hardware that's powering modern AI. Everything from GPUs and servers to AI PCs, edge AI hardware, and enterprise systems. They carry the hardware from some of the biggest names in the industry, including NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Asus, Gigabyte, PNY, and more. And we're talking about some serious hardware here, including the RTX Pro 6000, NVIDIA H100, H200, and DGX systems. But not only that, they have Hardware Index and Cloud Index. The Hardware Index is a great place to research current AI hardware and compare the specifications that actually matter when you're trying to figure out what hardware makes sense for your workload. And if you don't want to buy the hardware yet, you can check out their Cloud Index. You can use it to explore available cloud compute options and figure out what makes sense for you, renting compute or eventually bringing that compute in-house. And that's especially interesting if you're experimenting with AI, running LLMs, doing inference, or building your own AI lab. AIpowered.com tests the systems on real LLM workloads, so you're not just buying the hardware based on a spec sheet. They currently have over 1,200 builds supplied, more than 40 brands stocked, and 24/7 human support. So whether you are looking for your first AI GPU, building your home AI lab, putting together a rack-mounted server, or planning a much larger deployment, go check out AIpowered.com. Machines for the age of intelligence. Okay, so let's talk about how many I've sold thus far, and then we'll get into the PCIe X16 lane unlock that I've done on it, and then we'll talk about the sales of the current 170HXs on eBay, which is quite wild, quite insane. Okay, so I started selling my 170HXs back in July 20th. More so recently, ever since we did that video, I have been posting more 170HXs for sale on my store. Thank you for everyone who has been buying. And so I did raise the price. Okay, not gonna lie. All right, I'm raising the price because the prices are going up. So why not, right? Why can't I make some money out of this, right? For people that wanted to buy them, and people are willing to pay it, which I find quite amazing actually, because of how this GPU is now which is unlocked. People are doing the capacitor mod to get X16 lanes out of it, which again, I'll show you the bandwidth speed here in a second. And so it's quite an amazing GPU for what it is, with the, unlocking the 8 gigabytes normally to 64 gigabytes on this card. It's quite insane. Having 64 gigs of VRAM is quite insane. For under $2,000, it's quite amazing. So I expect, to be honest, I could be wrong, but I do think the 178X, as people start catching on more and more, the prices of these are just going to continue to sell even higher. So I'm all for it because maybe I'm just more biased that way because I think of how this GPU can be used for inference for people that are doing this at home. The majority of people whom I've been selling to, that I've talked to, majority of them, if not all of them, have been making their own local AI machine at home. They're doing large language modeling at home. And so this is why people are buying these, because they can get a lot more VRAM and run larger language models, and be able to, load it onto the VRAM, and that's it. That's why people are buying this GPU and wanting to spend this type of money, because this GPU is amazing for inference. And so anyway, I've sold 24, all right, over the past month or so, and I've made about exactly $33,902 US, or that would be about 47,000 Canadian. So that's quite a bit of money. That's a lot of money. Okay. So I have about 81 8 gigabyte cards left and 10 32 178HX 10 gigabyte cards left. So 113 left in total. Okay, but I've sold 24, and they've all been the 8 gigabyte because everyone wants the 64 gig or the 8 gigabyte one, because which I haven't tried yet. I still haven't made. I was gonna make a 10 by 10 gigabyte rig, 178HX rig, and test it out, like the 40 gig or 80 gigabyte unlock, which I don't think it wasn't stable at the time. Maybe it's better now. I'm gonna be testing that soon. And so, yeah, a lot of people wanted the 64 gig, and but yeah, understandable, because it was more sustainable. So yeah, it's been great. All right, selling it, and I'll have another video talking about what I'm gonna buy. I do have a couple options that I've been thinking about, and I do need to spend money. Otherwise, majority of it's gonna go to the tax man. So I should buy something with this money, and I would love to get more opinions on it, but I do need I need to make another dedicated video about that. But anyways, okay, so I want to show you guys the unlock here. Okay, so I have in this rig multiple 178HXs, 8 gigabyte cards, and so I have this PCIe validator software I'm running on Linux here, and you can see here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it's PCIe Gen 2 X16. That's the max supported on this GPU. Okay, and then this is a non modded one, so it's PCIe. It's showing PCIe Gen 2 X4, and then the bus speed, the bandwidth throughput is 1.58 gigabytes per second, both ways. Okay, so this is a non-modded 178HX. Now, let me show you, okay, a modded 178HX 8 gigabyte that's unlocked to 64 gig using software, but then physically modded capacitor mod, I believe, power stage mod for the 178HX. So, okay, so now I'll show you here. Okay, so now we have, let's see if I show you here. So maximum supported, okay. X16, negotiated preload. It shows PCIe Gen 2 X16. Okay, so this is the modded one here. And then if we scroll down to the throughput, you can see at the PCIe slot, it's now, instead of 1.57, it's 6.37 gigabytes per second. So this is, this is more, this is 4x, a little bit more than a 4x speed, okay, that we were getting on the non-capacitor modded one. Okay, so from 1.58 gigabytes per second, then going down the X16 one, we're getting 6.37. So this is 4 times more performance essentially through the PCIe slot on this X16, this capacitor mod, X16 178X, which I have a link down below to the seller whom I got this from. It's on Alibaba. It is very expensive. Okay, I think it's over $2,000. All right, but you get 4 times more, I guess, bandwidth here, speed. Is that enough? Is the extra cost of having someone to do the mod, getting this extra performance worth it to you? I don't know. I guess speed in terms of whatever the large language model is going to do, that could matter a lot for some people. Maybe some may not matter for some people. But yeah, anyway, there you go. That's the speed of this one here. Okay, so what I just, I got this a couple days ago, so I feel like it is translating over on eBay here. Not saying that I'm the guy who's pumping up the prices here. Again, I'm probably really biased because I own a bunch of them. But people have been buying them for more than $1,600 recently. Someone bought one today as of recording for $1,859. Like, hello, I have one for $1,655 on my site. Again, I'm not trying to get tons of people to buy them because I do want to talk about the rental potential here that I want to do with these. We'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, majority of these cards have been selling over $1,400. I've seen now. Someone bought one today, another one for $1,800. Someone bought another one for $15. This is a bid. $15.40. So $18.99 with $200 delivery. Like, what the hell, man? Okay, so people, like, this is quite insane. Like, there's been a lot of sales actually over the past 2 days here. And it's quite crazy how this GPU, $1,600. Look at that, right? $1,500. That's nuts. $1,600. So the price is going up, right, on the 178Xs. And I think it's something that, again, people are now figuring out the potential with this GPU. And it's been quite amazing for inference simply because of the 64 gigabytes of VRAM. So I think, in terms for myself, because I own so many, again, I'm selling some. I'm not necessarily going to reinvest. I really want to reinvest in like the RTX Pro cards, but they've been going up in price. The 5090s are very expensive now. It's like, when is it going to end? And I just don't know when this is going to stop, right? But the prices of the 178Xs are going up. 3090s are going up, 4090s are going up, 5090s are going up. The RTX 3090, it's funny that this GPU has been selling for less than the 178Xs, which is quite insane. That is insane to me, right? So it tells me that the VRAM is much more desirable instead of the core, like faster core compute power of a 3090, which I think is on par with the 178X, I think. Don't quote me on that, or 4090. But being completely unlocked now, X16 lanes, Gen 2 though, it makes, I think people are understanding that it's going to be better, more faster than a 3090, even maybe better than a 4090 in most cases as well, just because of the extra VRAM that it has. You guys let me know, but yeah, it's pretty crazy that the 3090s are, they're selling too, but it's probably more towards gamers and whatnot for this card. Maybe for AI, actually probably for AI for majority of people who are wanting to run LLM at home. But anyway, yeah, I think that the 178X, it's just crazy. I cannot believe that this is happening. And to me, to have all these GPUs and to be able to sell them now for this amount of money, and it's been quite insane. So congrats to everyone who's been buying them on my shop. beforehand, the prices have been, you know, it's some of them I sold for 1,300. I just sold one today at 1657 US. So next week, are they going to go over 2 grand? Are they going to start selling for 2 grand? I don't know. I don't know. That would be insane. But I'm going to keep watch of this, and this is my journey of this. I'm going to keep track of how many I keep selling and how much money I'm going to be making off all of these. So, okay. And finally, at the end of this video, I just want to quickly talk about the rentals I've had with the 170HXs on Vast and on SimplePod. So on SimplePod, I currently have someone who's renting it for the past 5 days and 10 hours as of recording. And I've currently earned about $168 US after about 5 days. So it's making money. Okay, it's definitely making money against my electrical, you know, for this rig, which is not that much. So it's doing good. It's doing good. These aren't, you know, modded or anything. They're just unlocked, you know, 64 gigs VRAM. So it's working good. On Vast though, okay, on Vast.ai, just to show you guys here. So I think I'm in contact with the guy who's renting it. He messaged me on YouTube, and he said the hard drive is very slow. He said the speed was going down to like 110 megabytes write speed. So he says, I think, like, I haven't had many errors on this rig. Actually, I did get a out of memory error. So yeah, I only have 128 gigabytes of system memory on here. Next week, in a couple days, I'm receiving 2 terabytes. Okay, 2 terabytes of DDR4 memory. Bunch of 32 gig sticks. So I'm gonna populate this 10 by 170HX server with 768 gigabytes of system memory, and then I'm gonna upgrade the 2 terabyte drive that's in there into a 4 terabyte drive, and it's gonna be a name brand one that's gonna be much better. And so then I'm gonna see how well it's gonna perform on Vast.ai. I'm probably gonna raise the price on it because I'm buying a new hard drive for it, and also putting in like 2-3 grand worth of RAM. Okay. Plus the hard drive, the 4 terabyte drive is like $500 or something crazy. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to do that. And so I'll update you guys on this rig. And so, yeah, I think for AI rentals, I think I have potential to really build more, but it's going to be an expensive endeavor if I'm going to populate the servers with a lot more RAM, which DDR4 RAM is still very expensive. Also, buying 4 terabyte hard drives, 4 terabyte NVMEs, going into the U.2 to NVMe adapter. It's going to be another expensive added expense. But if the rigs can, you know, if let's say from my SimplePod rig, that if it made like, you know, if it gets rented at 20 cents an hour per 170HX, you know, I could pay off a drive within like, I don't know, 25 days or something. But that's if I want to do it. And that's something, again, I barely had any of you talk about, you know, renting that. And I did talk about this before in another video about the sustainability of the hash rate rental. Like, would I actually, you know, successfully be sustained in rentals for the 170HXs if I built, let's just say if I built, or if I rented out like 120 of them, I could make at 20 cents an hour, that'd be $460 a day. Highly unlikely, but it depends on the people who want to rent the rig. I just don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Things are still ongoing. Things are changing very fast. Prices are going up. I will update you guys when things change. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Hit that like. Peace out.